everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing something that I've really been wanting to do but just like too scared. I know this video is going to be like the worst idea I've ever had, but I still want to do it. I've seen so many other people do it. It's reading 1-star reviews of my favorite books, and my favorite books are like my favorite books since like childhood. Like I reread them every year. Like I do not give them that name lightly, and I have no interest in reading 1-star reviews, but I kind of think it'll be funny, so I'm just gonna do it. And disclaimer, ignore the shelves. I'm aware they are a work in progress. You guys can't even see the top, it's even worse, but you can probably see like this is the situation here with all my books just on the floor, and I will be taking care of that soon. So, okay, yeah, there we go. So I have my list here of my books, even though I know them by heart, and I'm just going to like go on Goodreads and just review them, I guess. So let's go. So the first book I have is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. The Book Thief. If you didn't already know, this is like a historical YA fiction book, and it's literally so good. It's like the ending and the POVs, like the narrations, are literally the best things ever, and the way it's written is just amazing. Like I literally used this book to write an essay for my English class about the writing, just because like the way he wrote it is so good and so unique, and I just loved it. So The Book Thief. And then literally it has an average of 4.39 stars. That means the average amount of people rated it like a 4.5 stars. That's like an amazing rating, and it has over 2 million reviews. That's like crazy. So okay, 1 star. Oh, the bar is like pretty small, so that's good, I guess. I feel like people would rate it 1 star just as like rage bait or something. Like I don't even understand why. Okay, should we do the no, I'm not gonna do the review that contains spoilers because I don't want to spoil it for anyone. Okay, Michael 4 years ago rated it a 1 star. Oh my goodness, he wrote a whole essay. Okay, let's skim through this. I'm apparently one of the few people who just do not see what all the hype is about. I was left extremely disappointed. I found the writing stilted and stuttering. Hard to stutter in writing, but this book pulls it off. That's actually so funny. Overly sentimental. He literally wrote this during COVID. Overly sentimental. I think he was just having a hard time himself and didn't want to read something sad. He should have known that this book was going to have a sad ending. And heavy-handed on the symbolism. Was Michael reading this for school? I also found the author's approach to the story to be just plain gimmicky. The first and foremost gimmick is the story is narrated by death. That's literally the most interesting, intriguing part. That's what my essay was all about. Now this might work in some books, but not this one. The choice of narrator adds nothing to the story, it's only a distraction to the reader, and it's encouraged the author to write trite observations about Death's perspective that add nothing to the story. If Death had been given developed personality or a unique perspective, then maybe, and even then it's a stretch, the choice of narrator would have worked. As it is, the story is told almost entirely as though by an omniscient narrator. Well, it is a third-person book. Like, we get Liesel's narration, then we get Death's narration. So, like, we're alternating it. What, do you want Death to be like I did this? Well, that is how it was. It's told as though by an omniscient narrator. But, like, it's a gimmick and it falls flat. We get absolutely nothing from the choice of Death to fill the role. I think this guy had no problem with the book, just with the way it was written in the narration, which, like, that was the best part. It was interesting. It was what made it unique. Like, the way Death's perspective was written, it was kind of, like, humorous to me. I don't see how he thought Death had no personality. Like, it was, like, this is during World War II. What kind of personality do you want Death to have with, like, people dying left and right? And I thought Death actually showed a little bit of growth. Like, I have quotes in my essay that show, like, Death's character development throughout this story. Me and Michael just wouldn't get along. The other gimmick I found most distracting is the repeated use of the little newsflash type bold and centered notes that appear periodically through the story to highlight some stupid point and add dramatic effect. They were irritating and served only to break up the natural narrative flow without adding anything significant. Seems like Michael just wanted Liesel's narration and just wanted it to be uninterrupted. That's all he wanted. But our author was just giving. I love the little newsflash things the author was giving. Do I have the book around here? I kind of want to show you guys what those look like. Guys, so I found it, and I just want to show you guys like what it looks like. So like, for example, over here, like, this is like the story, and then right here we have like the little bold like news flash thing where the author's speaking directly to the reader. So we get 3 narrations: we get Death, we get Liesel, and we get Marcus talking directly to us. Let me find another example. Or like this. I thought it was really interesting. It added a level of depth to the story that wouldn't have been there otherwise, and I just thought it was great. Like, I really liked it. So, okay. I think it is telling that while this book is listed for teen fiction, Zuzak actually wrote it for adults. I mean, I think it could be read by teens. Our main character is a teen girl. I don't see any problem with it. It feels like it was written by a very immature author, and the prose did not attain the quality that one should expect of adult fiction. The narrator is a teen girl. Did you expect The Diary of Anne Frank to be written in the best prose ever? No, then why are you expecting this book to be? He's writing from the perspective of a teen girl. Of course it's not going to be the most mature writing. The story is trite, the narrative is sentimental and uninspired. Her family, like, at the beginning of the book, this is not a spoiler, her family dies. Like, on the first page, her brother dies, I'm pretty sure, like the first chapter. Did he not want Liesel to be sentimental? If you're a bit older, read The Diary of Anne Frank. So he liked The Diary of Anne Frank. The same narrator. I don't understand. I might even add in to counteract, there's plenty more, but there's more that deserve your time and attention that does this book. Oh, and now people are replying, I agree with you, Michael. The most annoying is the news flash thing. This book so desperately tried to be deep, and it ends up forced and contrived. I hated it. I do not think this book was forced. Like, if you don't want to read it, even just watch the movie. Like, I don't think it was like that. I loved it. Okay, now someone... When I saw the 1-star rate, didn't expect this kind of review. I have 3 questions, and for each of the 3 middle paragraphs you wrote that tried to present your plausible arguments that support your opinion. So Murillo literally counter-argued each of his points with, like, his own questions. Oh, yeah, see? He agrees with me. Yes, Death is the perfect character because... Only because it's, yeah, it's young adult because it's written about a young adult, not because it's immature. Okay, people are agreeing with me. So that was our first review from Michael. He got 729 likes though, which is almost 1,000 likes. That is, like, concerning to me. But, alright, okay, let's go to the next one. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was. He brought up some arguments that was okay. At least it was nothing about, like... Well, he kind of critiqued everything, but it's fine. Okay, then we're gonna do 6 of Crows, because I know that when a book gets hyped so much as 6 of Crows does, it's going to have bad reviews, but it was literally an amazing book. The second book was even better, so, like, when a series just gets even better, you know it's good. And when the first book's already 5 stars, like, okay, 6 of Crows, 4.48 with 1 million ratings. That's crazy. Okay, then we're gonna go down, 1 star. Okay, ooh, there's not even that many. Okay, let's do Tucker, because he seems to have the most likes. Well, I love Ninth House, and now my identity as a Lee Bardugo book hater has been shattered. Oh no, I think that's an update. So, he said, you've got to be freaking kidding me, it's becoming a Netflix show, the torture never ends. The Netflix show was not, it was Shadow and Bone. It was... Honestly, I don't even know why they put the 6 of Crows characters in there. Anyone who takes the show as canon for the 6 of Crows thing, it's not. It doesn't even go on the same timeline. Like, I'm really sad that I wasted so many hours in this book. I really should have gone with my gut and just put it down. But no, everyone kept telling me to get better. It's telling me to keep going. They tell me it gets better. It doesn't. I will admit the beginning of the book is kind of slow and hard to get into, but it does get better. I wonder how much he went through. I honestly can't figure out what people are people are in this book. Not only is the plot as dry as a bowl of oatmeal, I love oatmeal, but the characters, the ones I told were amazing, were also flat and boring. How is Kaz Breger flat and boring? Mina Zenik is not. If you told her to her face that she was flat or flat and boring, I don't even want to know what would become of you. Like, honestly. So much that I literally DNF'd this 4 times, then why did you don't even get to rate the book if you DNF'd it 4 times. Like, at this point, that should have been enough to make me kick this book to the curb. Yes, if it wasn't for you, then 4 times? I've only ever picked up a book I DNF'd once, and I don't think I even rated it that high, so. Someone responded okay with a period. That would be my response. I don't think you and I read the same book. Bro, you're literally talking about Ninth House? Oh, is he talking about Ninth House? No, I think he's talking about Six of Crows. I think he just put it in as an update. It's not that bad. Please don't review anything else in your life. Are you sure you read Six of Crows? I don't think we read the same book. Okay, so people are saying that he apparently didn't read the same book. Well, I wonder what he read. He has 3 YouTube links. I bet he just went on a whole tangent. Okay, well, Tucker, your review is not credible, apparently, so we're not going to deep dive anymore into that review. The plot was not dry as oatmeal. So much was happening, and the characters were not flat and boring. I think maybe he just said he read it, and he just DNF'd it 4 times, and then was like, okay, I'm just gonna review it, but I never even finished it. 4 times, you should not be reviewing it. Okay, next one. I have like a couple I want to get through, so I'm not going to read like multiple for each one. The Westing Game. If you don't already know, it's literally one of my favorite books ever since childhood. I've reread it over and over, so I know it's still a 5-star. Westing Game. Oh, oops. Okay. 4 stars with 219 ratings. Let's go. I feel like the bar for the 1 star is a little bit higher than the others. Okay, let's do Mary's review. I don't understand why this book won a Newbery Award. It was confusing and sort of awful. It was a mystery book. It was supposed to be confusing. That was the point. Mary. Additionally, for today's reader, it felt extremely dated, and it had remarks in it that I would call unpolitically correct. It was not written today. What did you expect? Like, are you gonna read a book set in like the 1900s and call it unpolitically correct? At that time, it was politically. This book wasn't even about politics. It starts with a group of eccentric people of all ages who quickly become involved in a mystery game involving a large inheritance. Okay. Clues are given along the way, but I'm not sure whether or not the reader was supposed to be able to solve the mystery. Clues were given along the way, Mary. Why would the author give us clues if she wasn't expecting us to try and solve the mystery? And even if you didn't want to solve the mystery, just read it for fun. But like, if you wanted to, try and solve it. That's the whole point of why we were getting all these different POVs, because we know more than every single other character does. So yes, that's the fun part. I wouldn't recommend this, and I feel bad for kids who had to read it as an assignment. If I got to read this book in school, I would literally be ecstatic. Like, I love all the books I've had to read for school. That's just, like, I love to read. But if I got to read this in school, that would have been amazing. Actually, I agree with you. Didn't enjoy either. The audiobook narrator was very... Okay, if you're not reviewing it because you didn't like the audiobook narrator, that doesn't count. What wasn't PC in it? Oh, politically correct. Thinking back, I remember the dialogue seemed dated. She didn't even spell dialogue right. So possibly it was how different groups were described. This is giving, I have a concept of a plan. Like, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. I remember the dialogue seemed dated, so possibly it was how different groups were described. What different groups? Some of the very politically incorrect issues are some of the stereotypical views of the Chinese characters from the 70s. The worst for me was the treatment of Chris, the teen in the wheelchair. The Raskin's descriptions of his thoughts and other treatments were callous. Well, yeah, this is written during a time where there was so much discrimination and all of that, and she reflected that in her writing. It's not her job to address it, because that wasn't what the book was about. She was just writing something in a time where this stuff was happening. Now, it's up to you to dissect that and figure out that, oh, this was wrong, this was right, but it's not her job to say that these characters... I love Raskin's genius at weaving the plots, but you really can't ignore the... Okay, so I guess there's just... I feel like with all books that are older, you're gonna bring up these cultural things, but... Yeah, I mean... If you ignore the politically incorrect stuff and just take it as a fiction book, which is what it is, then it's really good. Like, I loved it. The mystery portion. Honestly, when I was reading it, I wasn't even thinking about things that were politically incorrect. I was just trying to solve the mystery. But, okay, she brought up a valid point, I guess, but... that it had nothing to do with the plot of the story, so that's fine. Okay, so the next one... let's do Ender's Game. Ender's Game. My favorite science fiction book ever. My favorite science fiction fantasy. So, like, even if I divide, like, even if I consider all the fantasy books I've read, this is still my favorite, even though it's technically science fiction fantasy. 4.31 with 1 million ratings. I feel like the general public aligns with my thoughts, but there are some people who don't. Okay, let's go to the 1 stars. Oh, wait, I literally feel like the first review here was a 1 star. With 1,531 likes, DNF at 52%. Dear Orson Scott Card, there are over 3 billion women in this world. And you managed to piss off every single one of us. Wait, why? I thought there was literally only, like, 2 girls in the book that were main characters, and they were both, like, amazing characters. Oh. Okay. So, it seems like she's not really mad at the book. She's mad at Orson Scott Card himself, which is valid, but, like, what does that have to do with the book? Okay, she's just, like, really going off about... Okay, let's skip the whole getting into this part, because I honestly don't understand what she's talking about. All the boys are organized into armies. All boys, a few girls. They don't often pass the test to get in. Too many centuries of evolution are working against them. Evolution? But, okay, kind of the word choice there honestly doesn't make sense, but too many centuries of discrimination would be a better word, because that makes more sense. Like, he's addressing something valid then. Okay, characters. I feel like Card made all the characters too young. Ender's 6, Valentine is 8, and Peter is 10. I mean, if they're going to travel to a different planet and they're raising this army of kids, they need to be young. Like, they need to start training young. And that also made it more interesting, because they weren't fully developed yet, so I thought that was something that made it interesting. The writing was atrocious. Card switches from third person to first person constantly. I kind of like that, honestly, because Ender's the main character. The other 2 characters are not the main characters, but their parts of the story were interesting. His brothers, Peter and Valentine. So I thought that was, like, a good switch. I kind of like sometimes when the story goes from first... Oh, she said that's a sign of bad writing. If you can't stick to the one perspective, then you should go back to those non-existent creative writing classes. Okay, first off, creative writing classes are not non-existent. There are a ton of them out there, and a lot of them are pretty great. So I don't know what that even means. If you can't stick with one perspective, then you should go back to... There's so many books written more than one perspective. Like, some that are second person and third person, some that are first person and third person, some that are first person, second person, and third person. And if you do it right, you do it right. Like, there's no rule that says you can't do that in a book. Towards the middle of the book, the plot started to seriously drag and get outright ridiculous. Valentine and Peter start planning to take over the world. Not only is the whole let's rule the world concept highly overused, it's poorly planned out. It's only thrown into the story. They weren't talking about taking over the world. They were talking about, like, ruling it. Which I think is a little bit different, because they were, like, these very intelligent children, and they were just... Like, through their columns, they were just proving that they wanted to lead. Like, that's what they were showing. I don't think it was poorly planned. It was like a big aspect of the book. Like, it wasn't something he just threw in. It was like a plot that was happening throughout the book, which is honestly my favorite part. Then switching back to Ender, we have our main character turning into the bullying that bullied him in the beginning of the book. How does Ender become a bully? This whole story is a version of a kid military which is run by controlling adults. It's a science fiction dystopian book. This could happen in real life, where the kid army is run by controlling adults. So, like, if she didn't enjoy the premise of the book, then why did she read it? Like, if I read the back of the book and I don't like what it's about, then I'm not going to pick it up. It's so tedious and irritating that I decided to give up on it. Well, she didn't even finish it. If you didn't finish the book, then why are you writing this long review? You don't even know how it ended. Like, maybe Ender developed. It got so tedious and irritating that I'm not going to just waste my time with the book written by... Okay, so we understand that you don't like Orson Scott Card, but what about the book? What did you think about the book? Goodreads is for reviewing books, not authors. I'm not even going to see the movie? Why? What does Orson Scott Card have to do with the movie? Someone said I could write an entire essay deconstructing your arguments, but it's just pointless. Yeah, like, she said not to spoil the ending, like you didn't even finish it. So yeah. She quoted all the... You should read High Republic books by Disney, probably more up your alley. They're poorly written and hit all the check marks you seem to enjoy. Honestly, the best part of this video is not even reading the bad reviews, it's reading the replies to the reviews. Okay, worst review of all time. Thanks, now I know this book must be good. Okay, never mind. These type of comments actually make me want to buy and read the book. Okay guys, so I don't understand why this got 1,500 likes, but it seems like a lot of people also didn't like the reviews. So yeah, if you DNF the book, then you can't start talking about the plot and this and that. You can say the plot was boring at first, but you can't talk about it after that. You can say I DNF'd it because the plot was boring at first, but you can't say, oh, he just threw this in and it became nothing, because what she's calling the plot that he threw into the book randomly became something that was super important. So, okay, this is becoming a long video, so let's do one more. I'm gonna choose... Okay, I'm gonna do something unconventional. I'm gonna choose Winnie the Pooh, because I honestly just want to see if people even write bad reviews for that book, because I don't understand why you would. I read it when I was like probably like 5 or 6 years old, and I've read it ever since. I've watched all the episodes from the TV series, all the movies. It's my comfort book, and I just want to see what people, like, what would you even write in a 1-star review? 4.38 with 379 ratings, almost. 379,000 ratings. Okay. So, over here, 1 star. The bar is pretty low. Okay, so let's do the first one here by Dana Albasha with 8 likes only, but okay. Oh, she has a lot of, like, little pictures. Oh, well, she read such a short review. My youngest brother was so in love with the cartoon as a kid, I never understood why. I thought I might like it better now, but nope, not for me. I seriously didn't like the story, the way it was written, the characters, or anything. My favorite thing is the illustrations. I think stories are like that. You either love them or hated them. First of all, no, I don't think stories are like that. I think you can feel ambivalent toward a story. You can kind of like a story. And she didn't really say why she didn't like the characters. I guess she didn't like anything about this. So, and she didn't say why. So we're just gonna discount this because... Are people serious about this? Nothing makes any sense. The writing is atrocious. The dialogue is laughably bad and makes no sense. The characters are stuffed animals. Why would the dialogue make sense? The characters are extremely bad. In what way? Children's books are not meant to be like this because they're for children. Kids have a lot of intelligence. I would not recommend to anyone. I felt my brain cells burning out during reading. Yes, kids have a lot of intelligence, but like, kids are not going to pick up an adult book and be able to understand what it's about. We, as children, we talk to our stuffed animals. We think they're alive. Like, I mean, yes, we're intelligent, but we also I think it's a great way to like incorporate that sense of like animism that we have as children into a book. Like it makes us relate to the characters more, and the characters are amazing. Each one has a distinct personality, and they're never left out. Like they're all still friends. They all like go on these adventures. It's so fun. You seem like someone I don't want to be friends with. How slow do you have to be to not understand Winnie the Pooh? You can enjoy Winnie the Pooh without insulting others who didn't like it. Okay, well. I don't know. Wait, who? I don't even know. Oh, who's she replying to? You seem like someone I don't want to be friends with. Jen, you can agree or disagree with someone, but ad hominem attacks simply demonstrate that you are not able to carry a conversation. I never thought this is like an esoteric, insulting review, but like, I mean, yeah, like it's just a children's book. It's not that deep. It's fine. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna read any more reviews. I feel like they're all gonna be the same. Oh, I'm giving up. DNF at chapter 7. Wait. I literally couldn't understand anything that was written. How are people not understanding how it's written? Maybe like you only understand it as a child? I still understand it. Okay, well, there's not that many bad reviews, so that's okay, but that was a funny one. Okay, yeah, so I have a bunch. I could do a part 2 if you guys want. Just let me know down below. This was an interesting video. It was fun. I've seen so many other people do, and that's why I just wanted to jump on the train. And if you guys don't know, I also post like other videos, book reviews, book recommendations, book vlogs, so just check my channel out. And if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I post new videos every week. Thank you.